The previous week was about supply and demand framework in general, about deriving demand and supply and seeing what equilibrium is about. However, we didn't reveal the full beauty of the framework. That's why we needed this additional week in which we discussed much more applied issues. It turns out the demand and supply framework can be used to analyze any policy intervention, from price floors to price ceilings, from quantity regulations to quotas, from taxation to subsidies. All these types of interventions can be analyzed by the simple framework we discussed in the last 2 weeks. Now, when the government intervenes in the market, which is in equilibrium, it changes the equilibrium allocation. The change in the equilibrium allocation happens through the impact on the legal price that can be used to transact, like it was in the case of price regulation, or every unit that is being bought or sold, like it was in the case of taxation. And in addition, the change in equilibrium allocation after the government intervenes may drive prices up or down, and quantities up or down as well. Now, the common feature of all these changes is that rents are taken away from some agent and given to some other agent. In other words, government intervention has distributional consequences. Those distributional consequences are twofold. On the one hand, with taxation, both buyers and sellers lose rents. They transfer those rents to the government in the form of tax revenues. Taxation also has the property of introducing a deadweight loss, which we'll discuss during the live lecture. That's a pure loss of welfare, which is not received by an agent just because the government has intervened. On the other hand, with price regulations, rents are distributed between buyers and sellers, and there is typically no direct rent for the government involved here. However, deadweight losses may still exist and may be so large and so widespread that entire economic systems may collapse under their weight, like it happened during socialism. If you want to learn more about the applications of equilibrium analysis, please go and read Unit 8 from the textbook. In addition, thousands of articles have been written about the same framework in both popular economics jargon and scientific jargon, like the ones you can see below. In the spring term, you'll see many more applications of the core approach we were using throughout this term. Your spring professors will focus on more or less macroeconomic issues our society faces today. We'll build theories to explain those issues, and we'll confront those theories with the more recent data. So, thanks for watching these videos. Stay in touch if you have any questions. Bye now.